Okay, this is Bill Palm recording again on March 15th, 2012 in the afternoon. This is a sponge technique for creating bushes, sometimes grass, and basically just about any kind of foliage, particularly deciduous trees and that sort of thing. So, what I do first is decide where I want to place my first bush. Let's say right here. I want plenty of color at the bottom here, like that. I take a cosmetic sponge. This is the kind the ladies use for cosmetics or to wash their faces clean after using makeup, I suppose. I put it in the water and squeeze it out pretty tight. And I come down here and work the paint upwards like this. While that's drying, come in and put another bush in. So let's do this one here, like that. Each time I rinse out my sponge in the water, clean it. You don't want to put old color, dirty color back into the paper from your sponge. Do the same thing. Basically, I'm creating a gradated wash. I'm feathering it out at the top to, create an effect of light hitting the top of the bush. Got to make sure that my paper here is dry enough to pull this off. Looks like it's working fairly well over here. So what I do is I stack them. Once again, washing out my sponge, squeezing it out real tight, getting most of the water, if not nearly all of it, out of that brush. So I'm stacking them, I'm building them up bit by bit. Dry brushing, dragging this part of the brush, the knife edge of the hairs, downward in a scrubbing motion on the paper. Taking my sponge then, that had just a little bit of water in it, to smooth that out to basically pretty much nothing at the top. I'm doing one more, get rid of that water up there. Come down in here and put some on like that. Just about anything goes as long as you get general shape of the bush, whatever shape you want of that bush in there. There. Okay. I can come down here too. I can stack them in any direction, but going up probably is the easiest way to do that. Once again, cleaning my sponge. That drops of water coming off my hand there. Be careful. Okay. Like that. Now, let's get back a little bit so you can see the bushes. See the effect of those bushes. See how they look? Really nice. This is a dry brush technique, only using a sponge instead of a brush for smoothing the paint, feathering it, gradating it, making it disappear into almost nothing at the tops of the bushes. You can also get down in the bottom, grabbing a brush out of my drawer here, of that, with some darker color. I'm going to put a little bit of ultramarine blue with my burnt umber. I've been using burnt umber and burnt sienna, kind of a mix back and forth and that sort of thing. Now if I want to add some accents to this, I could say come into the bottom of the bush areas along the top of the bush below it. That brush was coming apart on me. Can you believe that? This provides a little more shade on these bushes. A little darks along the bottom of the bush to kind of give it an accent. Like, you don't want to do it everywhere necessarily, just a little bit here and there, providing once again some variety. That's burnt umber with a little bit of ultramarine blue in it to darken it down. Now I went back to my burnt umber, burnt sienna mixture for this one up here, maybe a little bit down here. This time using a brush for a little finer tuned area, a little more accurate to smooth out the tops of that, make it go into the bushes. Now you can see the effect there. You can also take, and you get some pretty dark color. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. For an effect of pebbles, can also get a thin rigger brush, or which I'm not finding right at this second, or a small brush. Put a suggestion of weeds here and there. These look best in and around the light areas. Another thing you can do in this situation, once you're sure it's dry enough, and I'm not sure it's dry enough, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot anyway. Let's say you wanted to add a little more color into those weeds. So I grabbed a little alizarin crimson, and I'm thinning it down over here with a lot of water, coming back to my bushes, and just come in and drop in a little glaze in one area, soften it off here and there with Phoenix. That is, pull the color off so it isn't too dark. Let's just do a little more there, and I didn't get that quite as dark as I wanted to. Gives you a little reddish cast to it. It's called a glaze. Should be done pretty fast. I'll come in, do a little glaze in green. Oddly enough, maybe here, like this. And adding some color to it. Put another glaze lightly up here in yellow. So this is just, you don't have to do this. This is just a way of adding a little color into your weed area if you think you need it or you want it there. So that is a bush technique. It'll also work for tree foliage and grass at times, and it's really helpful like in desert pictures, desert paintings. It's very helpful when you have a hill in which there is where the hill is covered with bushes, and you can just create them nicely anytime you want. So that's it on this one. This is a little mini demo on creating bushes and foliage with a dry brush and a sponge. Hope you enjoyed it.